November 12, 2019. The rugby world stands still. Afiwe Diantai, World Rugby's Breakthrough Player of the Year, sits in a stark conference room facing a panel of anti-doping officials. His hands tremble as he opens the envelope. Inside, a document confirms traces of 3 different anabolic steroids in his system. In just 24 hours, this rising star would become the face of rugby's darkest secret, a widespread doping culture that reaches from school fields to World Cup stadiums. The relationship between rugby and performance-enhancing substances runs deeper than most fans realize. Since the sport went professional in 1995, the pressure to be bigger, stronger, and faster has intensified. Today's average professional rugby player is 25 pounds heavier than their 1990s counterpart. But at what cost? The Afiwe Diantai scandal. South African wing Afiwe Diantai's case rocked the rugby world. After winning World Rugby's Breakthrough Player Award in 2018, he tested positive for methandinone, methyl testosterone, and LGD 4033.
Of the A sample and 2 banned substances, methandinone and methyl testosterone, were found in both samples.
Sophisticated performance enhancers typically used in combination by bodybuilders. The subsequent investigation uncovered a systematic doping program that began during his university years. Investigators traced connections to a sophisticated supplier network operating throughout South Africa. More troubling were the discoveries of multiple missed tests before the final positive result, along with evidence suggesting advance warnings about testing schedules. The case also exposed links to other professional players' doping activities. Despite Diantai's claims of contaminated supplements, laboratory analysis proved otherwise. His 4-year ban effectively ended a career that many believed would redefine wing play in modern rugby. His fall from grace served as a stark warning to other athletes about the consequences of succumbing to the pressures of modern sport. Diantai's case also raised questions about South Africa's anti-doping infrastructure. Critics argued that the system failed to act decisively during his early career, allowing a pattern of missed tests to go unpunished. This leniency may have emboldened other players and suppliers, contributing to a culture of impunity within certain circles of professional rugby. Chiliboy Ralapel, a career of violations. Chiliboy Ralapel's case stands as the most complex in rugby union history. His journey through 3 separate doping violations spans a decade, each incident more serious than the last. His first violation in 2010 came after testing positive for methylhexanamine following a match against Ireland. While he claimed the substance came from an anabolic nitro supplement, the subsequent investigation implicated the team doctor in the supplement's provision. This resulted in a 6-month ban. The mild penalty sparked outrage among anti-doping advocates, who believed it set a dangerous precedent for leniency. The 2014 violation proved more serious when a random test in France detected drostanolone in his system. This led to a 2-year ban and the immediate termination of his Toulouse contract. The investigation uncovered evidence suggesting organised doping within the club structure. Leaked emails revealed that certain staff members had facilitated the distribution of banned substances, further tarnishing the reputation of French rugby. Ralapel's career-ending violation in 2020 involved testing positive for Zeranol, resulting in an 8-year ban. Ralapel became the first rugby player to receive 3 doping bans. Investigators later discovered connections to the livestock farming industry, where Zeranol is commonly used as a growth promoter. This unusual link highlighted the evolving methods of doping as athletes and their suppliers sought out unconventional sources to evade detection. Beyond the bans, Ralapel's case sparked a broader conversation about the pressures faced by elite players. Many believed his actions reflected a desperate attempt to remain competitive in an increasingly demanding sport. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the long-term consequences of prioritizing short-term gains over ethical conduct. The Gloucester Rugby supplement scandal. What began as a routine supplement check at Gloucester Rugby unleashed a scandal that implicated multiple Premiership clubs. The initial discovery came when 3 players tested positive in the same week, all traced to a single pre-workout supplement. The supplier, investigators learned, had connections to 5 Premiership clubs. The wider investigation revealed 12 players across different clubs had unknowingly consumed contaminated supplements. The supplement company's CEO was arrested after evidence emerged of deliberate contamination and links to underground steroid labs. Authorities seized supplements worth £2 million during the investigation. The scandal shed light on the murky world of supplement manufacturing. Many athletes rely on over-the-counter products, assuming they are safe and legal. However, the Gloucester case revealed how easily these products could be adulterated with banned substances. It also exposed the lack of regulatory oversight in the supplement industry, prompting calls for stricter quality controls and better education for players. For the players involved, the scandal had mixed outcomes. While most were cleared of intentional wrongdoing, their reputations suffered lasting damage. The case highlighted the importance of due diligence in a sport where even unintentional doping can have career-ending consequences. The French Top 14 conspiracy. French rugby's doping scandal reached the highest levels of club administration. It began with a random test at Toulon that revealed a cluster of positive results, quickly expanding to implicate 6 players from 3 different clubs. Team doctors were found to be sharing prescription protocols, with evidence pointing to systematic testosterone abuse. The investigation soon expanded beyond the clubs. Authorities investigated 14 pharmacies, arrested 3 team doctors, and discovered connections to a Spanish doping ring. The seized substances valued at €500,000. 23 players were eventually implicated in the scandal. The cover-up attempt proved as damaging as the original offences. Club officials were caught destroying evidence, while the suspicious death of a potential whistleblower raised serious questions. Banking records revealed an intricate payment network, leading to multiple federation officials' resignations. This scandal rocked the French rugby community and exposed the vulnerabilities in its governance. The scale of the conspiracy suggested that doping was not limited to isolated incidents, but rather embedded within certain club cultures. It also demonstrated the lengths to which some organisations would go to protect their reputations, even at the expense of player safety and integrity. Players implicated in the Top 14 conspiracy faced varying fates. Some retired quietly, unable to overcome the stigma, while others attempted comebacks under a cloud of suspicion. For many fans, the scandal was a betrayal of the sport's values, prompting calls for sweeping reforms at both domestic and international levels. Rugby's youth and grassroots problem. While high-profile cases dominate headlines, rugby's doping crisis extends beyond professional levels. Reports indicate that the use of performance-enhancing substances is rising among young players. A 2020 study in South Africa revealed that up to 20% of high school rugby players admitted to experimenting with anabolic steroids. Many cited the pressure to secure scholarships or professional contracts as a key motivator. Coaches and recruiters are often implicated in this troubling trend. Anecdotal evidence suggests that some schools turn a blind eye to doping, prioritizing trophies over player welfare. A culture of win at all costs perpetuates a dangerous cycle, leaving young athletes at risk of severe health issues, including hormonal imbalances, liver damage, and psychological disorders. The modern testing regime, fighting a losing battle. Anti-doping agencies worldwide have ramped up their efforts to combat rugby's doping problem. The introduction of the Athlete Biological Passport, ABP, in 2009 was a game changer, allowing officials to track long-term physiological changes rather than relying solely on direct substance detection. However, sophisticated doping practices continue to outpace testing capabilities. A significant hurdle lies in the costs and logistics of comprehensive testing. Blood tests, which are more accurate than urine tests, remain underutilized due to their expense. Many lower-tier competitions lack any form of testing, creating loopholes for athletes to exploit. Furthermore, whistleblowers often face severe retaliation, discouraging others from coming forward with vital information. Emerging trends in rugby doping. The future of doping in rugby is likely to involve more sophisticated methods. Gene editing, for instance, poses a potential threat. Emerging technologies like CRISPR could allow athletes to enhance muscle growth or oxygen delivery at a cellular level, making detection nearly impossible with current testing methods. Additionally, microdosing, the practice of taking small, undetectable amounts of banned substances, is becoming more prevalent. This approach enables athletes to reap performance benefits while evading detection. Anti-doping agencies are racing to adapt to these advancements, but the arms race shows no signs of slowing. The human cost of doping. Beyond the headlines and bans, the human cost of rugby's doping culture is staggering. Players often suffer long-term health consequences from prolonged substance abuse. Liver damage, cardiovascular issues, and infertility are just a few of the documented side effects. Psychological tolls, including depression and anxiety, are equally common. particularly for those whose careers end in disgrace. Former players have started speaking out about their experiences. Some describe feeling trapped in a system that rewarded risk-taking and punished honesty. Others recount being introduced to substances at alarmingly young ages by trusted mentors. These stories highlight the urgent need for systemic change, steps toward a cleaner future. Rugby's governing bodies must take bold steps to address this crisis. Increased investment in testing infrastructure, particularly at grassroots levels, is essential. Education programs for players, coaches, and parents can help build a culture of integrity from the ground up. Transparency is another critical component. Governing bodies must commit to publishing detailed reports on doping cases and their outcomes. Fans deserve to know the extent of the problem, and transparency will help rebuild trust in the sport. Finally, harsher penalties for complicit parties, including coaches, doctors, and suppliers, are necessary. Holding enablers accountable will deter others from engaging in unethical practices. The global perspective. Rugby's doping problem in context. Rugby is far from alone in its struggle with doping. Other sports, from cycling to athletics, have faced similar crises. However, rugby's unique combination of physicality and strategic complexity makes its doping problem particularly challenging to address. Unlike sports where individual performance is paramount, rugby requires team cohesion, adding another layer of complexity to doping's impact. International cooperation will be vital in tackling this issue. Recent collaborations between World Rugby, WADA World Anti-Doping Agency, and national anti-doping organisations are promising. Cross-border investigations and shared intelligence will be crucial as doping networks become increasingly globalised. What's next? As these cases have shown, rugby's relationship with performance enhancement goes beyond individual choices. Recent intelligence from anti-doping agencies suggests we're about to uncover an even larger network of sophisticated doping. Sources indicate that a major investigation involving 3 continents is about to break. Multiple former international players have turned whistleblowers. The question isn't just about who's using anymore. It's about whether clean rugby can survive what's coming. The future of rugby depends on confronting its darkest secrets head-on. The next few years will determine whether the sport emerges stronger and cleaner or succumbs to the pressures that have driven so many athletes to compromise their integrity. For fans, players, and the wider rugby community, the stakes couldn't be higher. What do you think? Whose do you think is doping? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more rugby content.